Well, the World Agri-Tech Innovation Summit was recently held in San Francisco, California. Our friend Sean Haney with Real Ag Radio recently caught up with several who were in attendance. Sean, good to have you with us today. Give us some insight from those you spoke with. What was the outlook at this year's conference?
Hey, great to be with you here this morning. Well, I would say somewhat subdued based on conversations with some of the delegates that were in attendance. This is kind of across the entire broader sector. A lot of talk about how funding is significantly reduced from where we were last year, and especially compared to 2 or 3 years ago. Venture capital money, is tight right now. There is still funding for certain projects, but that project better have a path and in a rather hurry to profitability. A bit of a reality check for people with some really great ideas that they're trying to find some investment and some funding for to hit that next moonshot or that next big exit when it comes to agricultural innovation and VenCap ideas. As I mentioned, much more discussion about paths to profitability. And one of the things that I did hear from several delegates was already a bit of a shift away from some of the big aspirations of biologicals and what they were going to present to the industry, and more of a focus now to measuring emissions and things like carbon intensity as well, which shouldn't be a big surprise. But it's just really interesting how things are like, where there's all the interest in one sector, and then it can quickly fade away as some of those projects get funded, or some of those companies that are funded really struggle to find that profitability that they're really looking for.
And I know you caught up with Jay Wetter from Canola Digest, and he shared an interesting take with you from one of those sessions. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I interviewed Jay from the streets of San Francisco as he was wandering up and down the streets, and Jay's a close friend and somebody that has wanted to go to the summit for quite some time. I was there a number of years ago. It really is a great meeting. And one of the things that Jay pointed out, and I've heard this from several people, is that we need more farmers and farmer feedback at events like this, where new ideas and thoughts on products and services are being talked about. A lot of times we can be in, venture capital people can be in a bit of an echo chamber. And it's the farmer that actually, at the end of the day, has to decide whether there's value there or not. One of the other things that Wetter pointed out is that maybe farmers meeting some of these carbon intensity scores or lowering emission targets is really going to become very much table stakes. And a couple of the panel discussions or roundtables that he listened to, he heard companies talk about how maybe farmers will have to have a certain carbon intensity score in order to qualify to do business with some of those food companies, which may be a bit of a scary issue for some farmers as sustainability initiatives move forward. So that was kind of a big takeaway that Wetter had that could be a big change going forward in terms of who can sell to who when it comes to agricultural commodities.
That really is. It's so cool that you spotted him on the street, able to have that conversation and get that information. That was host of Real Ag Radio, Sean Haney. Appreciate your time. The Real Ag Radio update brought to you by Heads Up Plant Protectants. You can go to headsupst.com for more information on their products. And you can catch Sean on his show, Real Ag Radio, which airs at 4:30 p.m. Eastern weekdays on Rural Radio, Channel 147 on Sirius XM.